In the shadow of decay I rise, Typhus the herald beneath poison skies. With nobles rot I lay walls to waste, the reaper's scythe no life can escape. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death, God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Vessels water me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Empyrean's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth, carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death, God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Vessels water me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth, carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death, God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Vessels water me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Plagueless howl, the gassing walls, the pestilent tides, new life is born. Nurgle's passing, a twisted place. I embrace your God in my cold embrace. Fear the plague fleet, fear the end. No salvation, nowhere to defend. I am Typhus, reaper of dread. Bow to Nurgle, embrace the dead.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another bit. You know what? We're redoing it. We're starting over again. 2 seconds. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast and another episode of the Plague Surgery, where we go through our Blight Lord and above member tier lists and basically give reviews on them and sort of, give feedback, thoughts, all this kind of I'm not restarting again. All that kind of like good stuff. Someone's already asking questions. So basically, due to members' quantity in the Discord, we did have to change it to Blightlord and Death Shroud tier members because I was like getting to the point where I was like 500 submissions behind. So what we've done is we've changed to Blightlord and Death Shroud members. But if you are in the chat and you are live here and you're a Plague Marine and you can tag you specifically want your list looking at and you are here and can engage in the chat with it, we will try and cover 1 or 2 Plague Marines while we're at it. It's just a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance of growth, sort of outgrowing the capacity I have. Because again, this isn't my full-time job. I have to just try and fit in where I can. So we're trying the best we can to sort of get through as many as we can. And we tried and even on the Blight Lords, we can't even keep up with all the Blight Lords, so we had to pick and choose some of the most interesting ones to go through them. And yeah, we just try and do the best we can. We try to do the best we can. But thank you very much to John Bucket, 4011, who's just become a Plague Marine member. Thank you so much for sending that in. Again, make sure you go to our YouTube channel homepage and go to our See Perks button that you'll see now, and there'll be a link to get yourself in our Discord. Once you're in the Discord, go to your settings, connections, and link it to your YouTube account and unlock the full server for you. If you have any trouble with it at all, just give a shout out in the server in any channel you can, and someone will get around to helping you set that up. But thank you so much for that support. It really helps keep the channel growing and keeps content coming. As some people are saying in the chat, will I be going over the lists at Leicester GT? So I'm speaking to the boss, Natalie. I'm thinking I was trying to do like almost like a Nurgle this week, where basically it's either a video or a stream every day. Of which one of the videos I've got prepared is one is a Infection Critical, where we look at the best performing Death Guard list, and I have two from Leicester GT in there, the two top performing ones, and it's a Taliban list and a Virulent Vectorum list, which is quite interesting because it's basically gone more of a Blight Lord build for the Virulent Vectorum, and the Taliban Summoners is obviously a Taliban Summoners build, which are always super interesting to see and see how they go. So I'm going to try and get that done so we can at least, because I know we're streaming tomorrow, for example, we need to decide actually, so people in the chat, if you want to give us a quick sort of heads up so we can get an idea of interest. Tomorrow's topic for stream will be torn between two things. One of them is just an Ask Us Anything, where basically you can literally just ask us literally any questions you want. So it's just be an open stream. The second idea of a topic is going to be that I am attending an RTT on the 27th of December. So we can either do it this week or the following week. But it's a build my list. So again, we've done it before. I will take whatever you guys want me to take to an RTT, and you guys can help build it live on stream. It can be terrible, it can be good. So whatever you guys want it to be, and I will take it to the RTT. It's on the 27th of December, and I'll see how well I can do with it. And Meds, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. You absolute legend. You are a menace, Meds. You're always that guy. But thank you so much for the ongoing and continued support, mate. You really, really are appreciated. So thank you so much. So yeah, let us know what you fancy about that. So first up today, let's get into a list, because you don't want to hear me just sitting rambling. So Phoenix Toss, I have owed you one for a little while, my friend. So let's get straight into this one. So we're gonna go with your latest one, and it has no Rotogus in it, has no Land Raider. So the good thing is that because the date slate didn't actually change much for us, I don't have to worry about people's stuff being mainly outdated. So in this list, it's called Cock MSU. So we've got a Biologist Putrefier, so we do try and build it live because we do like to see the impact that you can have, but like on the table, like sometimes seeing the army physically like in model form can really change how you feel about an army as well. Then we've got a Lord of Poxes, so we'll grab him. Lord of Virulence, where are you at? You're over there, grab him. Malignant Playcaster, so double Playcaster, 1, 2. 2 Playcasters, so quite a lot of characters, but it is Champions Continue. Okay, Mortarion, okay, interesting. Then battle line, we've got 1 squad of 10 Plague Marines, 1 squad of 7 Plague Marines. Let's grab these here, so the 7. And again, we don't bother about weapon loadouts on here. We obviously will talk about them, but on the actual like grabbing the and assembling the units, don't worry about that. So there's a bunch there. Then we need another 7. You'll do. But there we go. 2 more. Okay, so and then we need a Chaos Rhino, some Chaos Spawn. So Rhino over here. 2 squads of Chaos Spawn. So we'll grab these 2 here. So we'll go bam, bam into there. You guys there. You guys over here. Rhino back there. So we've got Mortarion at the back, being a big boy. We got some Caster. We got some Biology Putrefier. I'm going to get something probably like this. It's going to be my guess. LOV. Then we have 1 normal Fetid Bloat Drone, triple HBL drone. This normal one is a Flesh Mower, so we got a Flesh Mower drone, triple HBL drone. So 1, 2, 3. And then we still have a Mythetic Blight Hall and 10 Poxwalkers. Okay, so let's grab the Poxwalkers last. There we go. So 10 Poxwalkers. Okay, so this is the list we got so far. So what I'm going to say right now, I'm pretty quiet. Oh, sorry, yeah, it is a bit low. There we go. Hopefully it's a bit better for you. I don't know why it was down so low. That was a bit weird. There we go. So I will say straight away, it might just be a leftover list name, but this is not what I would consider an MSU list. MSU stands for multiple small units. So in those kind of armies where you go an MSU build, you wouldn't be looking at like 380-point models. You wouldn't be taking big 10-mans. You might be taking more. You'd be taking more heavy on the 5-man Plague Marines rather than the big sort of Mortarion. Now the Demon Engines can be MSU because they are like 100 points each for a solo piece. That 100% makes sense. The spawn are fine, but like in an MSU list, you wouldn't typically take Mortarion or like a big 10-man brick here. So Morty's an interesting one, especially when it comes to Champions of Contagion, because Morty's good in combination with like Rhinos. I think we only got one Rhino here as well, because that makes me feel a little uneasy. I don't like just one Rhino. Yeah, okay, so just one Rhino. Okay, so what this is right now is Morty doesn't actually get much from Champions of Contagion. Now, what he can do is he does enable Rhino plays. He's pretty good with the Rhinos, which is pretty good. Obviously, you can reactive move, re-embark Rhinos, do some sort of Eldar shenaniganry with that, which is pretty good. But outside of that, and also being able to shoot back. So again, if someone tries to like chip damage some Plague Marines, and then you can fire back, and maybe you kill the melee guys off and just do a return fire from Mortarion's ability. That can also be absolutely devastating because again, 5-up crit lethal sustain. That's really nasty. But one thing I'd say right here is it's just outside of that, Mortarion doesn't do much. As I look at this list right now, to me, and this is just me personally, you've got so Cornucophagus we've got on the Lord of Pox as well. I think Cornucophagus is honestly a trap. I don't think it's very good. It's 35 points, which is a lot of points. It's a ridiculously expensive enhancement. And it gives him a second contagion, which is good. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of points just to have it on that one model, like as well. Because even a lot of Pox is good because obviously it has the extra contagion range, but it feels a bit weird. It kind of, if you're going to sit in -1 hit a lot of the time, it's good to have him be able to just take -1 save and sit in that and appreciate that. Or if he's defending an objective, he can just personally take -1 OC, which means it's much harder for them to out OC him on a point. Because if you can stand behind a wall with 3 Plague Marines on it, that's 6 OC. And then your opponent, even if they put, if they come put a bunch of 5 2OC guys on it, now they're OC1, they don't take it off you anymore. So it can force a big commitment from your opponent, which is pretty good to sort of deal with that. Now, that being said, though, I'm still not a fan of it just because of the pure expensiveness of it. So for me, I think for me, I would probably, if I was playing, for me right now, as I look at this would probably just work better as a Virulent Vectorum list. This to me screams Virulent Vectorum more than it does the thingy, because it makes these guys hit like absolute trucks with the 1 CP roll, all hits and wounds. Mortarion really likes Virulent Vectorum because he can heal in it, he can auto-explode in it, and he can -1 damage in it, which is really important. The Lord of Poxes, for example, could swap out Cornucophagus for Arch Contaminator, and now he's also going to be rerolling all wound rolls when he's on an objective, which makes sort of a melee squad quite scary, which is again really good. So in terms of that playstyle, I probably would focus this more on a VV list. Now, if you wanted to stick with Champions, a Contagion, honestly, I know it's a bit boring and a bit overdone, but if you're playing Champions, you really have to have a lot of Contagion and Death Shroud, because the thing that makes that unit sing is the ability for a 3-man unit with a lot of Contagion to basically body anything in the game. Because worst case scenario, you pay 3 CPs, a lot of CP, don't get me wrong, but you are getting crit 5s, 4 rerolls to hit and wound. You will body anything in the game. It's brutal. But a lot of times, crit 5s is more than often enough for them to smash something really hard. And they will probably get a lot more done than the actual Mortarion here. So, if Morty's 380 these days, I think he's still 380, isn't he? I would probably, and again, it kind of plays into the MSU a bit more because you have a lot of Contagion, and then you get some Death Shroud in there of him. It's another smaller unit. So that alone there is 120, that's 280. So you're still going to have 100 points spare there, which could then go and get you a second Rhino, which would make me feel a lot happier here. I feel like if you're going to run this, I would much rather have the second Rhino. Now, another cool thing as well is you don't necessarily need the Balance Putrefire, because it's good in a shooting squad because it's still going to give lethals to your plasma and things like that. You don't necessarily need him because you can get crit 5s on demand. But again, if you really want to obviously be quite thinky with your points and you're a bit stingy, then we need to obviously consider that. So what I would potentially consider is if you wanted to make this into a Champions list, I would honestly, I wouldn't run a 7-man Marine squad. I don't think 7 mans are probably worth the investment of the extra points. I would instead probably go 1, 2 5-mans. So I'd go like 2 5-mans instead. And what they're really good at, the 5-mans in this detachment, is if you go something like another 2 playcasters, 1 in each, because what you can do is you can have a situation where, and if you really wanted a lot of boxes, you can have a lot of boxes in here, but now you're basically going to have a pseudo plague bus as well, because you've got 2 casters in a rhino, so you're going to have plague bus, but you've got 2 squads that can be melee equipped more than you want, and in combat, you're basically going to have the ability to give them crit 5s with sustained, and crit 5 sustained with the melee weapons is going to be quite enough to punch through, like, and uptrade quite a lot of units. So you have this unit which has got, like, again, a really good flamer in it. It's got some decent plasma shots. You can have 4 plasma shots in there. You can still then bring a power fist. You've got the caster's weapon, and that's all going to be 5-up crits on demand. So yeah, having the guy in there, especially because he carries final ingredient as well, I'm fine with that. Like 110-man, he's a good problem-solving unit, so like I'm fine with that. But I feel like this is going to make better use of being in 5-mans because, again, sustained on both shooting and combat, you can crit 5s it on demand when you need to. And the cool thing that you can really do is, if you're not sure if you want to have them attached and you want to play a proper MSU game, what you can do is you can, when you deploy the Rhino, you deploy him in the separate squads like this. You go cool, cool, and then just like normal Plague Bust, these 2 are solo in there. But let's say you drive up to an objective and you're a bit like, oh man, I've got to charge the objective and I need to kill the things on it, but I'm a little bit concerned I'm not going to be able to kill it with just 5 Plague Marines alone with no buffs. Well then, this little dude can hop out, you pay a command point, you join into the squad, and now you've got sustained, you can go and charge and pay a CP for crit 5s if you really want. Like, it gives you the option, that flexibility to deploy them solo and then join them later, which is pretty cool to see as well. And also, you can come and pick up another squad. If this squad's died or maybe a character's, floating around, they can come and like join here. Again, if the Battle Spitfire's alive, you can come and join this squad, things like that, which is pretty cool to see. So like this already is a bit more MSU-y because you're gonna have like a lot of like little units now. And I mean, this is floating what? So he was 100 points, 35 points, Iconocophagus, or 30, and he's 7E himself, so that's like already 105. We're already floating 100 from Morty. We used 80 there, so floating 120. Obviously after getting the Death Shroud. So 60 of that to get a caster, get a second caster. So you're still floating 60 points here. So you could potentially then, like, again, I don't know if it was bang on 2k or not. You could then at that point get yourself like another squad of Poxwalkers, and now you've got a lot more MSU play because you've got now 2 units of chaff as well you can throw out, which is again really, really good. Also, it's even more expensive for semi-fan first, so you already got the points. So like this, if you want an MSU champions list, this feels a little bit better. I still like double Order Contagion, double Death Shroud in champions, but I'd at least have 1 in there just for the absurd damage. I don't mind a solo Lord of Virulence just to be marking targets for the FBL drones. It does genuinely come from, it is pretty useful to have. But again, this is all choices. If you really wanted to, you could instead, for example, drop a bloat drone, drop these Poxwalkers, and get yourself a second squad of Death Shroud for the Lord of Virulence at the back there. So you can have double Death Shroud, double Death Shroud with Lord of Virulence. So you go Death Shroud like that. Like that's also an option. So now you've got 2 squads of Death Shroud. So you've got double MSU Death Shroud, double MSU Marines, the ability to sort of join these playcasters or deploy them as connected, as wish, and stuff like this. Typhus is also pretty cool in Champions of Contagion because you can potentially drop him down, and if he lives after his turn, you might go join some Poxwalkers. Really cool thing is from somebody who's just joined the chat right now, which I didn't even think of, and it made me smile so much. Pretend this is a Land Raider. What he's been doing, the cheeky little devil, he's doing Poxwalkers. Poxwalkers like infiltrated up here somewhere, 9 inches away from your opponent, and he's been turn 1 driving his Land Raider up, hopping out Mr. Typhus into near a 20-man brick of Poxwalkers. He then hops out of the Land Raider. He then pays a CP to join it, and then he can charge from the front of the Poxwalkers. So Typhus hopping out 3 like that. He joins within 3. That's fine. So Typhus has technically just gained 7 inches of extra movement and range for his charge, because then this all charges in, drags Typhus along a bit, and then Typhus gets to pile in all sorts of crazy little plays you can do with it, which I thought was really, really, really funny and really clever. You're a clever little git sometimes, you Zito. So that was really cool to see. So yeah, I think they're the 2 options I'd kind of go with here. So you can either go with dropping one of the drones, picking yourself up a second squad of Death Shroud. Or the other way I'd go with it is to keep your demon engines in here like that, and then just use the points that you're floating for that second squad of Poxwalkers, and that would give you a more. This would be definitely. I'd consider this more MSU than the sort of Morty build you had before. But if you want to use the Morty build that you had before, all I'd simply recommend you do is just swap it over to Virulent Vectorum, swap the Lord of Poxes to Arch Contaminator, and drop Final Ingredient, and then you're floating like 30 points or something there, so you can maybe pick up an extra upgrade somewhere. Maybe give this guy here Furnace of Plagues, for example, or even Revolting Regeneration. Like giving him just a flat 5 up for your pain isn't the worst thing in the world. Obviously, a lot of people would obviously point you towards Demon Prince, for example, but you don't have to take the Demon Prince. We have seen a lot of people doing decent without Demon Princes. Gabriel Nixon just won an event over the weekend using a Plague Marine build with 0 Death Shroud summons. He took 25 Plague Marines, 110, 3 5-mans, and then just a load of good stuff around it. And he managed to win a GT with that. So again, there's still plenty of builds out there for Death Guard. So I think this is what I would probably recommend going with. But there's a few options there for your Phoenix Toss. So hopefully give you some good ideas of ways to take your build there and different ways to sort of play it. But if you want an MSU build, this is sort of what I'd be more looking at. It's just got a bit more MSU. You've still got your one big crunchy brick of Plague Marines to smash them into hell. But everything else is then MSU and fits that MSU playstyle. But yeah, thank you very much for the submission, mate. I really appreciate it. The Drew Man, greetings from Minnesota. Hey man, how you doing? Are you having a good time with that? And also Craig Parker as well, giving a cheeky wave. Hope you guys are doing well over where you guys are at. Cool. So let's go on to the second list and look at, and it was a Shamble Rot list, I believe. There we go. Toby Ho. Toby Ho. Check out this list. Rarely lose reveal on TTS, GW terrain. Plague Brush is usually pushed out to the side of the map to clear the natural, and a Poxwalk unit is put down next to the Plaguecaster unit for Shambling Wall. Cool, so let's build this. So straight up, we need a lot of Contagion, we need a lot of Virulence. 2 Malignant Plaguecasters, one's rocking cheeky Sorrow Siphon, which I love Sorrow Siphon, it's so stupid. I think it might be a little bit overpowered when it works. Especially having the ability to get flat 4 damage in the current meta against like Victrix Guard is really good. And minimum 2 damage is also really good because it means worst case, like normal Playcaster shooting at Victrix Guard, if you get super unlucky, it can take up to 4 dice to kill a guy. Sorrow Siphon, 2 minimum because you minimum 2 damage. So 2 minimum, kill a guy. Super, super nice. 4 squads of Poxwalkers. We're also rocking 2 squads of Death Shroud Terminators here. So again, Terminators weren't really something I played with too much in Shamble Rot, but I definitely understand why they work. The ability to like guarantee, contagion someone for the rest of the game means that if they send out units of Travy or Poxwalkers, you don't technically lose your contagion range pressure because obviously you just put it onto them permanently for the rest of the game. So you can get some really good trades off there. We also have a unit of Chaos Spawn. Everyone loves Chaos Spawn. Chaos Spawn is just good. Then we have a Chaos Predator Destructor. Okay, cool. So we have Predator Destructor. Obviously boosting AP is quite nice to have. We've got a Fleshmower Drone as well. Fleshmower Drone. You sit in the middle there. Then we have triple HBL Drone. Triple HBL Drone. Some people just really love their HBL Drones. I like them as well, to be fair. I know sometimes they're a bit swingy, but I was playing with 2 in Taliban still at the moment, and they do fine. Like, sometimes you roll low, sometimes you roll hot. Nature of the beast. And then triple Mythic Blight Hauler and a Chaos Rhino for our Plague Bus to exist up in. Okay, cool. So, now we have to remember, when we're looking at this detachment, the reality of what we're actually working with is more like this. Because we get our 3 Poxwalkers, so reality is this is more like what we're looking at. Now, I actually quite like this. The 20-man Poxwalkers is something I think a lot of people get caught up on. And basically, they feel like you're playing Shamble Rot. Why are you not running 20-man squads of Poxwalkers? I think 120-man is fine to use the OC2 enhancement or the Terminal Rapid Ingress enhancement. But outside of that, they're a bit of a trap because the problem is they don't deal any damage at all. They're great for jailing, but they just don't deal any damage. And 10 often can jail just as well because you just wall someone out. So I actually quite like the MSU Shamble Rot. I was taught, I didn't do this myself, I was taught by our community that's been playing them when I picked the army up, when I picked the detachment up, and it works really well. Now, I can see how this completely works. Obviously, we've got a plague bus in here. You've got 10 guys in there. So you've got 3 squads of infiltrating poxwalkers, which is really good. Probably one sort of like sits on home objective. You've also got some scouting pressure from spawn. You've got big Death Shroud drop. So you've got enough guns, though, to keep someone hiding and honest turn 1. Like I said, the plague bus is really good for just going and clearing a flank. The Predator's here to just push your AP to ludicrous numbers, like having AP4 potentially on these fetid blood drone launchers is really good against infantry and stuff, and even against like even against like again Victrix Guard is in the meta at the moment, so having AP4 flat 3 damage, okay, it's not flat 4, which means it's a bit wasted, but still it's better than nothing. But also getting the casters to AP4 with -1 save contagion is huge, because if you manage to shoot them, obviously again Sorrow Siphon into some Marines, and they don't manage to catch them with the pants down, they don't have armor or contempt, you're looking at having 6 up saves on them, and then every single one that fails, like one has a 33% chance to one shot, and then you have a literally guaranteed chance to 2-shot everything else, which is really good. So that's really, really good in the current map. So I can already see how this is really working. How would I actually change it? I don't think I particularly would, because the thing is, when you're making something like this, that you go either like I think you either go like a full tank spam. So for example, in my build, I had none of the Death Shroud, but I also had a second unit and a bloat drone, and I had a 20 central block of poxwalkers with Typhus and co. So like Typhus in here would be great. Like this little bloat drone here. But again, there's no 20 brick. I really want 20 brick for Typhus to make use of the sort of like regenerating wounds. I think this is, if I was going to go with a Death Shroud build, yeah, this is probably what I'd go for, to be honest. I still think LOV, a lot of people would argue maybe to take double LOC just because the damage output is really good. But I think LOV just makes these guys so much like better at just being more reliable. And like, I would rather have my gun shooting platforms be more reliable rather than having the stream kind of cute though. It's the haircut, it's the fresh trim, as the kids would say. So there's not too much for me to like sort of suggest changing really, because I think this is a pretty good sort of Death Shroud build. I think the Predator's a great inclusion, again, just for the sort of Victrix Guard meta that we're in right now. I still love Spawn. I think Spawn is still a brilliant unit to chuck in. And it's like, even if you got rid of him, what do you replace it with? Like, at 80 points is not really too much you can really fit in. Like it's a Rhino or them, or you hover 15 points and get more Poxwalkers, but you've already got like a metric ton of Poxwalkers because you're playing Shamble Rot. So like, for me, I think you either commit to this build or go like a more shooting build. Like I said, like you've already got your bloat drones, you've already maxed out your haulers. So like, what can realistically be done here? Like if you started running into, so what I'd say is if you started running into a meta of like ridiculously hard hitting, like Victrix Guard, and like these things aren't doing anything, you could double down and go with a 6-man squad of Death Shroud Terminators just to make sure whatever they hit do die. So you'd have just a larger squad of Terminators, but you are obviously losing then 2 scoring pieces for that, which is quite a bit of a trade-off. So it's just one of those, like, it's a bit of a flex build you can do, so you can do something like this. Like, that would also work. But again, it comes a bit harder with the deep strike as well, because then you're relying on getting that, you have to find space for the extra 3 Terminators to be able to deep strike within 6, which can sometimes be hard to do. So there's that option, but it also would mean that it would make this Predator, make the Flamers a lot more scary, because obviously the actual weight of dice start to kick in then, plus the extra AP. So if you -1 save, plus shot by a Predator, they're actually AP2 sprayers, so like you shoot Victrix on a guard, again, you wound them on 4s, they have 4-up saves, not really that pretty for them at that point. But you do give up on those scoring pieces, really. So I think I would personally play in it the way you've got it here, because I like the sort of MSU style. I feel like having trading units is quite important. And you have got a tool, like, again, every list I'm making right now, I want at least 2 units that can kill a Victrix Guard. And you have got the Lord of Contagion Death Shroud, which realistically on the charge should kill a unit, or at least massively cripple it. It's a bit touch and go in Shamble Rock, because you don't have access to anything that's sort of going to increase your damage. But what you do have access to is, I'm just going to double check it. Let me just double check it. The stratagem where you basically force a battle shock, because that is actually something you 100% should be using versus Victrix Guard. Because if you manage to charge them a battle shock, I don't think Poxwalkers have to charge them, because the one that can be used on any Death Guard unit. But that's the bit I'm checking right now. But if that's possible, then you're going to be able to battle shock them with the Death Shroud, which is then also going to have the icon in this squad, so you can have -1 there. So shock and horror. Yes, and they automatically subtract 1. So subtract 2 from the test. So it's a battle shock at -2, which means no armor or contempt, which is really good because that means you're going to be AP3, so there's 5 up saves, and it's going to increase the reliability of you dealing that damage, which is, again, just incredibly important. And it also means that even if they have fallback and charge and stuff, like, again, if they fail leadership because 1.5, and they'll be, -1, then the desperate escape, sort of things like that. So I quite like it, to be honest, as it is, really. I don't think... Again, the only suggestion I could change is to guarantee you kill, like, big Victrix Guard bricks would be like that in there. But again, it completely depends on your meta. You might see Knights again just because Knights got a bit easy to play and stuff like that. The Monday RTT, is this the... is that the 27th of December one? I'm at the one on 27th of December. I didn't know there was one on Monday. Is it the Monday Mayhem one? If it's the Monday Mayhem one, I don't think I'm at that one. I'm at the Stonehammer one, sort of after that, which is just after Boxing Day. So yeah, I think, like, honestly, mate, I know you didn't really put it in for advice. You're sort of showing the list. I do really like the list. I think it's really good. And again, you still have the options where if you don't need the sprays, you go against anything Eldar or something, you detach those. You got even more units to play around with, so you still got plenty amount of units for people to sort of deal with. So it's a really solid list, that. So thank you for submitting it. It's really solid. Again, this is the sort of the Death Shroud Shamble Rock build. You can drop the Death Shroud, go more tank heavy, second Predator Destructor, get into a normal bloat drone in here. Couple of things. You can even put War Dogs in it if you really like, but I feel like for what you've got going, it said you're undefeated on TTS at the moment, then keep rocking it, man. Keep rocking it and keep doing well with it, because clearly it's working. Right. Up next, is anyone in the chat as well who would like theirs doing it? I'll do this one here. So we've got Cosmic Goo. Made this list thinking of the popular Victrix Guard threat. Given this was submitted at 7:05 today, I'm going to assume you are more than likely probably watching. Oh, is it? Okay, so you're at both. Okay, awesome, you're at both. Yeah, so I'll catch you at the 27th one. Yeah, I'll catch you there, mate. Right, so this is Virulent Vectorum, and it says, made this list thinking of the popular Victrix Guard threat. So I'm expecting to see anti-Victrix Guard tech here. So we've got Flyblown Host. Okay. Right, so first up, we've got a Foul Blightspawn, an Icon Bearer. Okay. Okay, cheeky. And we've got a lot of Contagion. We're going to grab one from there. A lot of Contagion. Then we need a lot of Poxes. So we've also got the enhancement on the Lord of Contagion for the Rejuvenating Swarm. That's going to give him the heal to full. He's basically a Beast of Burgle. Lord of Realms with Droning Chorus gives us one assault permanently. Really good, should always be taken. Tallyman. I'm just going to quick sip from a drink real quick. So quite a lot of characters, but they're all cheapish. Then we've got 5 Plague Marines. 5 Plague Marines. So 2 squads of 5 Plague Marines. A big squad of Blight Lord Terminators, which again I think is kind of a staple in Flyblown Host. Like, I just think you always take their Terminators. They're just, Blight Lords are just pretty damn good. I'm glad that Blight Lords has kind of started to see play, because we've even seen them taken by the pro players, shall we say, in sort of like their games and like their TTS tournaments, like the 10 Blight Lord brick in VV. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, and it always has been good. People just overlook them. But if you've ever been shot by Blight Lords, people really don't expect the damage until they get shot by it. Predator, 2 Chaos Spawn, boot boot, 1 squad of Death Shroud Terminators. Let's go grab them. So just the 1. So that means our LOV is going to be solo. Oh no, don't mind about die. We have Blight Lords. 2 HBL drones, 1 Mythic Blight Hauler. So 1 of you guys, 2 of you guys. There we go. And then we have 1, 2, 3 Poxwalkers. Let's grab the front row here. Okay, cool. Let's make this a bit prettier for everyone watching. So I'm already a little thingy. I'm already a little on edge. You're making me on edge here. Because we got Plague Marines and no Rhino, which greatly upsets me. No, you're not actually upset me, obviously. I'm only joshing you. Right, cool. So, okay, cool. So, now, if you are in the chat, I want to know sort of like your, I am here to at fault it. I'm intrigued and confused. So, Yes, David Richard, I will do it after this one. It's not a problem at all, mate. Right, let's have a look. So, attaching wise, I'm going to assume it's going to be Lord of Poxes plus Icon Foul Blightspawn, and then Icon Bearer in another squad. Maybe. We've got Tallyman obviously going to sit on home. This here. I think that's what we're going for. Is this sort of like your character arrangement choices? I think that's probably what you're going to be going for, more than likely. Right, so this is Flyable and Horse. So we have Stealth and we have Scout and everything. So Stealth and Scout and -1 to wound. This is great. This is proven. This is a great little combo. Love this here. Now, the sort of issue that you have in this attachment is your melee damage has no way to be increased. Your melee defense has no way to be increased. Now, we have got in this attachment here, we've got some enhancements. We've got Plague Veil, which is the Lone Up 18. Now, you have given that to your Icon Bearer. So I imagine the idea being like this squad's just going to start sort of strung out from your home objective, and they're sort of going to just like move towards your natural objective and trying to hold it, unless they're going with a Flyable Blightspawn. The idea being like they can't be shot, they've got to fight first, they're going to sit on objective all game potentially. Now, one thing I don't think is going to go great for you in here is you want to counter the Victrix Guard threat. One of the greatest ways to counter them, Blightlords do decent, like you can shoot them, especially if you get a Predator off there. If you get a Predator shot off, and then you get to blast them with these guys with -1 save contagion on there, that's going to do a lot of damage. That's pretty good. Like that. Like that indeed. And plus, you can obviously turn the guns to pistol, so if they do manage to blood surge into you, just turn them to pistol and shoot them in close combat. That's good. That is good anti-tech. Death Shroud plus Lord of Contagion, good. Kills Victrix Guard pretty effectively. There's no way to get extra melee damage in this attachment, but again, you still should be able to chunk them. Now, the biggest problem, however, and the thing that's not really going to help you in the Victrix Guard matchup is these Plague Marines. Like, as it is right now, so the problem you've got here is by nature of the Victrix Guard and how they operate, the one way to get around the reactive move is to have your Rhino. So very quickly, people that don't know, let me just grab some guys. Let's just say these are 3 Victrix Guard, okay? Now, these Victrix Guard, if you drive up to them, so here's 9. If I drive up past 9, they reactive move, yeah? And they're going to do one of two things. They're going to reactive move behind a building so you can't shoot them, or they're going to do this and they're going to reactive move right in front of you so that if you shoot them, they're going to blood surge into you, be in combat and kill you. So the way around that is, and if you've got walking Plague Marines, all you can do is slowly move 5 inches a turn towards them. So you can go 5 inches. And this is a unit that moves 6 and has access on demand to advance and charge. You're never going to get the drop on this unit. They're always going to get a drop on you. And if some Victrix Guard charge your Plague Marines, you're dead. Guaranteed. You do not live that at all. So, the way to get around that is to have a Rhino drive up to 9.1 away, 9.01 as long as you're not within 9. Doesn't trigger the reactive move, so let's just get that there, 9.1. There you go, 9.1 away. And what you can do then is you can actually disembark your unit 3 inches inside that. So you can put your Lord of Pox at the front. And this here, if the Rhino is moved already, this, even though they count as having made a normal move, they do not trigger anything because they have not made a normal move. So at this point, this unit cannot reactive move. So you can stay nicely away at 7 inches, keep them in contagion because the Lord of Pox is, 7.1 inches, 7.1. And even if they roll a 6 to blood surge at you, they're not going to be able to make combat. They'll be 1 inch away from you and they can only blood surge once, as of the core rules, which means you can then keep shooting them. So the Rhino gives you a counterplay to sort of like the blood surge and the reactive move. And that can only be done if you have a Rhino on the list. If you have walking Plague Marines, against any army that moves fast and has access to advance and charge, they're always going to get the drop on you. Now, if you have the Foul Blightspawn in there, you're thinking, okay, cool, well, at least I'll fight first. Now, the Foul Blightspawn does help you a bit more because the Foul Blightspawn shuts down that advance and charge. So I actually like the Foul Blightspawn because now this unit can't stage back here, bang a 12, move like this, and come charge it. They'd have to stay 9 inches away thanks to the Foul Blightspawn's rule, which is really, really good. But bear in mind, it's only from the Foul Blightspawn model, so there's nothing to stop them coming this way. So you have to make sure your Foul Blightspawn is like bam, front and center like that. So now he goes, oh, I can't come near you. That is genuinely good. Now, the only problem we got here is that if they do make this charge, a foul blight spawn and 5 marines, even with a Lord of Poxes, they're not going to give a shit. Like, our Plague Marines do far more damage in shooting than melee. Our melee is okay at best. The weapon skill 4 really sucks, and they're going to be stacking on an additional -1 to wound on this. And then they can armor contempt. They will send in this squad that you will swing first. Maybe you kill a guy, maybe you kill 2 if you're lucky, and then they wipe the rest of you out. Like, the 4 that remain to swing you are going to kick your ass. So if you're going to go with a foul blight spawn play like that, you need to make sure this squad is scary. So what I would genuinely do is, if you really want to make sure that is, I'd just combine them, have a big happy 10-man, so it has plenty of damage in there. So if they do charge you, now we're not looking at killing 2, now we're potentially looking at killing, up to 4 of them. And then when they swing back, they won't kill your entire squad, they'll take a chunk out here, they won't kill your entire squad. And then again, you can swing back and kill them a bit more. If you put a lot of pox in that damage gets even better. What it also means is, when you do hop out, you can use the strat to get the full rolls to hit. And again, just be able to blast them with all these guns. If you've got 2 melter guns in there. Now, what I would say again, though, is you've got to consider this in a different limelight. If you're using this unit defensively and you're expecting to get charged, Foul Blight Spawn's great. Foul Blight Spawn is a great control piece. Now, that being said, there is still something to be said about Playcaster Biology Putrefire combo, because the thing is, with full rerolls to hit, which Foul Blight, which thing he does have access to, Flyblown Host, melter guns become pretty good, because you hit on 3s, crit, lethal, sustain 5s. Lethal gets completely around -1 to wound, and sustained on a gun like a melter gun can genuinely pop these guys. Because again, if you manage to hop out and shoot with melter guns, it's going to be AP 5 against 6 if you Predator Destructor Sean first. So you can line this up, stay 7.1 away from them. You shoot them with the Predator. The Predator. They go cool, Blood Surge, can't make it into combat, I'll say an inch in front of you. And then the worst bit is they've shot themselves in the foot there. Because what you're going to say to them is, if you Blood Surge, not only will you not make combat, but I'm also going to put me in melter range. So then you go cool, here's AP 6 melter guns to the face with lethal sustain 5s. You'll fish. So if you don't roll a 5 or a 6, you'll re-roll it just to try and get a 5 or a 6. Because if you manage to get 4 melter gun wounds at this close range, they're not going to get a save because it's AP 6. So no save, even through cover, you ain't getting a save. And then, after that, they are on anything but a 1 on damage roll, because it's going to be melter 2, you kill them all. So you could potentially just get 4 on a guard and just go dead. Like that. Gone. Bye. And that's before anything else is shot. Before your plasma gun shot, before your blight launchers have shot, before your flamers have shot. Brutal. You can even grenade if you want to. Like, that's gonna kill a Victrix on a guard unit. But for that to work, you really want that big squad, and you also kind of need the Rhino tricks to be able to pull off like the stuff to stop the Blood Surge and to stop the other bits of tech that they can do against you. But I feel like, though, that's going to help you a lot more than the 5-mans. Now, the problem, obviously, then you've got like 2 big bricks then. So you would have to play very carefully to not lose these bricks early. But again, you're not exactly suffering there. You've still got plenty of things around it. Because at this point, if you were to do that, like again, these 2 characters, they change out quite easily for the Biology Putrefire and the Playcaster. You're also floating 20 points. You will have to find somewhere for the Rhino, which does hurt a bit. So again, this solo icon bearer could potentially. Yeah, exactly. You can even play more aggressively because you can just make it pistol. Sorry, I was thinking the pistol, obviously for Blight Lords, but yeah, you can pistol those guys as well. Like again, anything. The Blood Surge is just not really an issue for Flyblown because again, you just turn to pistol. But again, you have a lot of potential damage here. A lot of potential damage. It's just being able to apply it now and just making sure that you also don't get killed from long range, which again, the Rhinos help with. The 1-up-18 sounds great, but honestly, the second you start even approaching the mid-board, 18 is not really going to keep you safe from a lot of things. Because of how dense boards are these days, getting in 18 inches is kind of like a necessity to shoot a lot of things anyway. So, like, there's a reason, like, loan up 18 is considered a bit poo, and loan up 12 is considered good. And it is just because of, like, the difference between them is night and day. Like, again, like, 18 is quite far when you're shooting, but when you drop it to 12, it's actually quite tight. But even then, people aren't using lock to never get shot. They're also forcing people to come close. do things like that. So if you wanted to make sure you had like a marine, like sort of an ability to kill Victrix Guard, Predator's brilliant. Predator is going to be always brilliant versus Victrix Guard because the +1 AP is going to be really good. Big squads of Plague Marines with lethal, sustained, because again, lethal gets around the wound, really good. Extra shots, really good. Melter guns, really good. Anything that could do that big damage, you want to one tap as much as possible. That is the main thing, just to one tap things as hard as possible. Foul Blight Spawn, I don't actually mind solo, like a solo Foul Blight Spawn just to shut down an area of the board from all their Assault Doctrine bullshit is completely fine. Plus the anti-infantry 2-up's really good. Plus it's a good AP flamer, so again, Predator plus -1 save, it's an AP 4 flamer that automatically moves on 2s, gets around -1 to wound, and it's also going to be 2 damage. So again, every two failed saves kills a guy. So I don't actually mind the Foul Blight Spawn, but I wouldn't really be looking. The reason Foul Blight Spawns used to be everywhere last edition. Like, we used to spam Foul Blight Spawns. But as of right now, we've stopped taking them as much. And I feel like it's because, one, they're a bit too expensive, but two, our melee, it's just not that great. Like, weapon skill 4 and Plague Marines is a bit shit. You ever been charged by something with -1 to be hit? And you're like hitting on 5s is not great. And you're giving up lethal and sustained 5s for it. Like, Foul Blight Spawns often can be taken and just run solo. Like, you can just have this guy exist somewhere with his aura to just shut down a bunch of crap, and then later on he just steps out, shoots something, does a bit of damage, and if he dies, he dies. Like, so I wouldn't be too worried about trying to attach him to a squad, but I don't think you need a lot of Poxes and the Diacon Bearer here. I think this right here will kill Victrix Guard like mad. You've got 3 units here that will pretty much one-tap Victrix Guard units. But again, you got to remember there's always going to be stuff behind the Victrix Guard, and that's the real problem right now. Is the Victrix Guard are so cheap, there's always stuff behind them. So, but you still got decent string, you still got some HBL drones here, you still got a Blight Hall to help out with that. But yeah, just give those things a consider there, mate. When it comes to killing Victrix Guard, you really want to have that Rhino in here, just to give you the extra tricks to deal with it. But again, it's more, even though Flyblon can get around it, can get around the Blood Surge. The problem is just making sure you get the drop on them rather than them always get the drop on you, because advance and charge is so annoying to deal with because they're just going to outrange when you move 5 inches a turn. The Rhino sort of evens the odds there because now you're moving 12 plus a disembark. So now you move faster than they do, which gives you that extra range. Oh yeah, I don't know why our heavy plague weapons have always been plague flails used to be weapon skill 3, but they're gone now. But our great plague cleavers, which are the big axes, they used to be weapon skill 4, but they also used to be D6 damage, which was so funny because we used to have a stratagem in the old edition where any excess damage you did in melee with Plague Marines was not lost. Like, no, if you have a 2 in model, you deal 6 damage to it, he just dies, and then the 4 damage gets wasted. There used to be a strat where that didn't get wasted, so I ran 4 Plague Marines, 2 flails, 2 cleavers into a unit of 20 boys it was, and I used the strat and killed all 20 because on the damage I went 5, 5, 6. So the cleavers alone killed 16 orcs, and the flails are 2 damage, and they killed the other 4. He was just like, wait, those 4 guys just killed me in 20 man orc boy squad. I was like, yes, sir. Yes, they did. It was really funny. Thank you very much, Space Goose, for being a member for 16 months. You absolute legend. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the ongoing support, mate. You absolute legend. Thank you so much. Right, I did say to someone, Jared Smith, go on then, you can be our cheeky bugger today. Also, Craig Parker, does Death Guard lean towards a War of Attrition playstyle, or is it more I'm just going to control the board? I think we've got a good enough codex where you can basically kind of like pick and choose a playstyle. Like, I'm playing Taliban right now, which is very much board control and primary control and being clever with move blocking and sort of, OC denial. But there's 100% you can make an army list where it's just like, I'm just going to try and outvalue with cheap Deepin engines, cheap 5-man Plague Marine squads with 4-year-olds to hit and wound, and then eventually you bring down the hammer of Death Shroud, slam into your opponent. You can go full tank gunline with Poxwalkers all over the place. I genuinely think we have one of the best codexes written. Like, even if the power's been toned down quite a bit because the points cuts, like, name me. I've managed to take every detachment to an event per hammer, which I've got to do. But we all know hammer when it came out was broken, so it's clear that hammer was good. And you can do well. You can go 4-1. You can win the event. You can go 3-0 at RTT easily. Like, our book is fire. Like, legit. It can get a little repetitive with some of the unit choices. I think there's still some internal balance choices that they could do. Like, the Predator Annihilator would be so much better. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did I say T? Okay, that's fine. We'll do TCG. Okay, I can get 2 more, and that's fine. I can get 2 more. No worries. Right. TCG Addict. TCG Addict. Are you on Blight Lords, mate, or are you on Thingy? TCG Addict. I'll look through my stuff. Right, let's have a look. Play surgery. Right, TC. Right, so there's Jared. We'll do yours. Don't worry. Okay, you're okay. Excellent. You're right next to each other. Right. TCG Addict. Champions of Contagion. Right, let's do this. Biology Putrefire. So where's Biology Putrefire? Bam there. Lord of Contagion. Yep. Lord of Poxes. Oh, where's he gone? I lost him. Oh, I don't delete him, did I? I always do that. Did I oopsie poopsie? Yeah, I oopsie poopsie into the next dimension. Cool. Whoopsie. Oh no, he's there. Got him. Got him. Malignant Playcaster. There. Tallyman Typhus. So we got Tallyman over here. There he is. Typhus is over here. Got him. Plague Marines times 10. Plague Marines times 7. 10. Plague Marines times 7. Then we've got 2 Chaos Rhinos. Boop. Boop, boop. 1 Rhino, 2 Rhino. 2 units of Chaos Spawn. Bop, bop. Yeah, come in. Then we have 2 units of Death Shroud. 2 6-mans of Death Shroud. This is looking weirdly similar to the first one that we did. And then 3 Mythic Blight Haulers. And then 30 Poxwalkers. Alright, let me just neaten this up. Okay. Rhino 1 or Rhino 2. You guys spot, bring them forward. So them forward. Lord of Contagion, I'm going to assume with 1. Typhus with the other. Plaguecaster and Biology Putrefire with the Plague Marines there. Lord of Poxes, I'm going to guess, with the 7-man Plague Marine squad there. Then we'll go spawn there, spawns there. Bop. Typhus slightly in front. You go slightly in front. Let's try not to trigger OCD too much. Tallyman's Tallybongus in. There we go. Okay, so excellently. Right. So right. Okay. So let's go first. Do you have a table tip to keep yourself from running out of gas by turn 4? General tip. That's sort of just like a learning, sort of like a it's just sort of like learning like your trading like tempo, and it depends on the game you're against, because certain armies you have to send out stuff more, but basically try and spend the most minimum effort you can do in the most minimum units to achieve something. So like, for example, you know, I need to screen out this charge. Well, if I string out my 10-man Poxwalkers to the most maximum like coherency, like one thing I always see be done is like this. And again, sorry to like distract from the other guys. So someone will be like this, okay? So we're like, okay, cool. I want to stop this Rhino. I'm gonna, from the edge of the board flanking me, I'm gonna do some Poxwalkers. Like this here is such wasted, because reality is the Rhino can't move an inch, you guys. So what you should be doing, you should be putting a Rhino like this, getting your Poxwalkers, measuring an inch out, and putting the first guy there. So this Rhino cannot move down because it can't move an inch, your Poxwalkers. And then we're going to get this, and then you're going to string it out to maximum coherency, for example. So it's going to be like bop, bop. And like the reality is, like, from having that unit that was screened like that tiny edge of the board, what you can actually have happen is something like that. Whereas now, like, this is blocking off like an entire flank on its own, like this. If that makes sense to you. So like now this is blocked here, but you're also blocking all over here. Whereas before we were literally blocking up to there. Like it's that's the sort of thing. Like if you're gonna expend something, like, if it's gonna die anyway, you might as well make it the biggest pain in the ass you can be. So, like, this thing is gonna die next turn. So while I'm move blocking this, I also might as well cover anything that's trying to get along here easily, because there might be a wall here, for example. Now no vehicle can get through this at all anywhere. So it's just about like finding efficiencies like that when you're sending units out to do stuff. And like once you get the hang of that and like sending out stuff at like a slower rate, it should sort of like become a bit easier if that makes sort of help, if that any makes any sense to you. Byron, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. You absolute legend. Foul Blight spam plus 5 on melee Plague Marine. Hold down the expansion well. Any big threats don't commit because of the trade, and slap back plus no advance. I love the no advance. Yeah, again, I think that depends. I think anything big and scary they're not going to care about. Like, I will send in like 3 Death Shroud and the Lord into that, no problem. Don't care. But the problem is, like, again, especially as you're saying, if it's something like witches or like Eldar, they've got to be really careful because the knives will kill them. And if it's anything like, you know, even for example, like JPIs are not going to send it into there. So sometimes it's actually okay that even if, so as you said, yes, I do not care that I'm having to send in 3 Death Shroud Lord to kill it. Like, I will kill you, that's fine, whatever. But there's still the problem there for me is I'm having to send that in to do that. And that can sometimes, as long as you're knowing you're going to force your opponent to commit a unit like that, like if 6 Victrix Guard charge in with Calgar and kill 5 Plague Marines and a Foul Blight spawn, as long as you've set up something to trade that back, that's actually worth it. Because you're basically saying to your opponent, the JPIs aren't enough, mate. You can't just send in JPIs. I'll kill them. So send in something big. So as long as you know they're going to have to send in something big, and you put like a plague bus around the corner who can then drive out and flame the entire squad, then it can 100% be worth it, as Byron says there. It's just about setting up and sort of seeing the turn ahead. But yeah, good shout there. Good shout, mate. Thank you so much for $20 again, mate. Really appreciate it. So that's this list. So as we said before, Cornucophagus, trap. Absolutely hate it. I despise it. It's too expensive. But if you, like, again, the problem is, like, it has uses. If it was just cheaper, I'd like it. If you could sit behind a wall, but like -1 OC behind a wall with this squad here is really good. But I don't know at that point if I take the 2 extra Plague Marines, or if, for example, you just find the points and put a Foul Blight spawn in there as well. And then you have -1 OC, -1 leadership, fight first on demand for 1. Oh, sorry, not Foul Blight spawn, anything else. You can take any second character, like even an Icon Bearer to make you. Like an Icon Bearer for 40 points. Again, you drop 2 Marines, Icon Bearer in there. Like, you're OC 3 now in every guy, so you can, even if you can only tap the objective with 3 guys, it's 9 OC. They're going to be -1 because of a lot of poxes, so they're going to have to send a load of units to steal the objective off you. And if they charge you, you can fight first for a CP, and you get to swing at them with all these things here and smack them. So I agree, Zito. 20 points, I'd really like it. 35 is really pushing my like. But if you wanted to use it, that's a great way to use it. I think that would be a good use there. So I would actually like potentially consider if you could drop 2 Marines, see if that's enough to get an Icon Bearer. Not sure if it is quite. It has a double check, but like that would probably be a bit better because otherwise, without the fight first threat, Plague Marines can just get squished a bit, and then it's like not doing you too great either. Because I would rather have the ability to say I fight first, and you're also -1 OC. Because a lot of the time, like on objective, like to hold for it behind a wall, especially on UKTC, might be different where you play. You can only get like 1 or 2 guys on it. Which means anyone that's got good OC can just steal it off you without having to charge you. So you fight first is useless. The -1 OC aura changes that to basically say, no, you have to charge me to take it off me, but I do have fight first, on demand. So that's pretty cool. There's a pretty cool little bit of tech you can do it. Now, outside of that though, in terms of champions, like this is a fine champions list. Like I would always say, like if you're gonna find 20 points in champions, Typhus is just completely outdone by Lord of Contagion because he gives them sustained hits, he gives them the lance, and then when you pop the 5-up crits, 5-up sustained lethal is night and day better than 5-up just lethal. Now, that doesn't say that Typhus is bad, so if you can't find, like, if you were to make any change here, it would be drop Cornucophagus, put him into Lord of Contagion. Like, that is the easiest thing possible. Typhus does work well solo as well, though, but that is, like, the simplest thing, just because the Lord of Contagion in Cock is just stupid because 5-up crits in that unit is bonkers. Especially when you combine it with full hits to reroll and wound. Like, you want that Victrix Guard squad gone? Gone. Like, you'll just murk it. You'll just murk its ass. So, yeah, there's that to consider. Now, this big squad here, again, it's really scary. It is really good. It's just a bit expensive. So like as it is right now, I don't mind a lot of boxes, but I know Zito, for example, Zito would probably recommend like this goes away, and you probably would put this in reserves, I'm going to imagine. I know Zito Pop uses a lot of boxes from reserves quite a bit. He rapid ingresses it on like an 18-inch angle so it can't get shot in your opponent's turn, and then he's free to sort of walk up and charge something, which is really cool sort of like play you can do with it. So there is the option for that, but like it's fine. It's fine with the Rhino. Like again, it's not a bad list at all. It's not a bad list at all. The list is fine for me. I would just like again, I'd rather a 5-member like an Icon Bearer if this unit's job is just to hold primary. I do like that one. So that would be like sort of my idea there. And again, if you can ever get this guy into an LOC, that's going to be a much better sort of like thing. But yeah, honestly, if you want to save points, you can drop that. You can drop that. 5-man plus Lord of Boxes in reserve, strategic reserve, rapid ingress on from the edge. Because you can rapid ingress 18 inches away from opponents, so they can't physically shoot you, and you can walk and charge something like a natural objective. That's pretty good. And also in doing that saves you like near 100 points. So then you can use that 100 points. You know, you can go pick up some of the bits and bobs that you want. For example, you know, you can go get a bloat drone for sorry, again, you can have like another. You can have a squad of 2 haulers and one squad of 2 squads of 1. You can use those 100 points to get yourself another unit spawn, but you've already got 2, so you probably don't need that. But sort of anything sort of along those lines where you can like, you know, sort of upgrade a bit, that's not bad. But like the list you've got is honestly pretty good. It's just again, and again, if you do that, you don't take Cornucophagus. So realistically, you're actually going to save enough 35 points there. So now you're actually up to 135 points. Ish, because I can't remember the difference between the 10-man Plague Marine, sorry, the 7-man and the 5-man cost. I think it's 35 points is the difference. But like that plus that would be like 60, plus the Rhino being 80. Like you could actually get a Predator at that point potentially. Like again, it depends on the points of how many Marines cost. But like they could come out and now you get a Predator in here just to help sort of like that is legitimately a thing. So drop Cornucophagus, drop the 2 Marines, drop the Rhino. If you can fit that in, that's going to make your damage could be even higher for dealing with stuff like Victory's Guidance at the moment, because the extra AP is going to make all these plasmas AP5, which is stupid. It's going to make the flamers on these squads AP2 if you're going -1 save. So there's a lot of good play that like you can change obviously all the time. So when you go turn, this thing can come in from reserves, shoot what you want to do. On the turn, you go into -1 save, and now you've basically got +2 AP on whatever target you want. So yeah, I'm probably going to suggest that for now. So either go with change the Rhino out with an Icon Bearer and drop Cornucophagus to sort of make that there, sort of be like your defensive brick to hold you natural. But if you want to sort of be more aggressive, you could drop that, put these in reserves, go for a Predator instead. Both are good options, and you'll be good with both of them, mate. Honestly, it's a cool list though. Alright, so up last but not least, I did promise we'll have a chat to Mr. Who is it again? Hey, Xavier, I just saw you, mate. How you doing, man? How you doing, buddy? I'm not sure about your offer there, mate. I might have to pass on that one, but I always appreciate the offer. Right, okay. Let's go into who is it? Is it Jared Smith? That was it, Mr. Jared Smith. So the last one we'll do tonight. Okay, so we're playing VV. We got big boy himself, Mr. Mortarion. Johnny Combo, I think, also asked if I'm doing a DLC list. I can make sure I try and get a DLC list in for the next one. That's not a problem. Not a problem. If you want to try and fit a DLC list, I can try and get one in for you. It's not a problem. So, Morty, Biology Putrefier, triple Malignant Plaguecast. I'm going to be 10-man Plague Marines. Get someone to steal his entire brick. Okay. And then we've got two more Plaguecasters. Bop. Tallyman. VV does like Tallyman. No Demon Prince though, that's fine. You don't have to have the Demon Prince, he is completely optional. Death Shroud. Oh sorry, no, just one Death Shroud. Then we have 2 squads of Poxwalkers. Bop. There we go. Bop. Then we're gonna have Chaos Spawn. So these 2 here. Nope, don't take them. Copy the maiden. There we go. You guys must think I'm insane. I like talk to myself all the time when I'm doing this. Double Predator Destructor. Do you like Predators? Bop. To catch a Predator. Flesh Drone. There we go. Double Rhino. Okie dokie, double rhino. Okie dokie. So, ready ho. So it's been an interesting one, this. So, right. So Morty is actually looking a bit better in the game right now. Morty is basically no. Honestly, I know you say Morty's not tall, but honestly, Morty's going to make a bit of a comeback. I think. Fire Dragon's been gone for now, at least until Eldar stop whinging and bitching like little crazy bitches. Is good. Other thing, Blood Angels are going towards the new detachment, which is the Sons of fucking whatever the fuck it's called. Rage Cursed Onslaught. Now, Rage Cursed Onslaught actually doesn't get Lance. And it doesn't get Lance lethal hits, which means T12 actually matters. So those chainswords on those Death Company, they get +2 to strength. That's real good against most things. That takes them to strength 6. Morty's T12, they're wounding you on 6s. Unless there's a chaplain in there, they're not going to have +1 to wound. So that Lamarty squad that everyone's going to be bringing, they're wounding Morty on 6s with those chainswords. And with no lethal hits access either. So Morty actually is pretty good in that matchup. And there's a lot of other things. Again, Ultramarines oath is always going to be a problem. But again, we can't just be living fear all the time. Ultramarines are Ultramarines. Ultramarines are bullshit. We live on, we accept that. So Morty don't actually mind. Morty's pretty good. Now, one thing we've been seeing happening, though, over the game is we've been seeing people moving away from the Plague Marine brick and instead embracing the Blightlord brick. So now this is a bit of, again, it's going to be a bit of personal taste, really. Sort of to how, flavor your chicken how you like it. But a lot of people have been sort of going towards the sort of LOV brick. This has becoming like a sort of like the pseudo second list where we take out the Plague Marine brick and we replace it instead of a Blightlord brick. And the Blightlord brick actually plays sort of in reserves, which again is completely fine, to be honest with you. So in this instance here, now I just want to check, did your list have any other character in Lord of Contagion? That's what I'm missing. I thought I was missing something wrong. So obviously love Lord of Contagion. Lord of Contagion Death Shroud, staple, always going to be there. Team Weapon of Nurgle's great on him. So really like that. So I have seen this as a choice because the thing is, the Plague Marine brick up here is what? It's 120 plus 190 for the Marines and the characters. So that already is 280. No, sorry, 190. Fucking hell, 290. It's 310. Plus the Rhino is there. That's why it's 390. So it's 390. The Blightlord brick itself comes in a little bit more expensive because obviously you've got the character in it. Now the cool thing here though is because you're not rocking HBL drones, this LOV actually isn't needed because you're playing VV. So the great thing about him is he gives them real wounds. But he's gone. You have one command point, real all hits and wounds. What's the difference? None. Because you've not got the bloat drones. You don't have the shooting package. You've gone Predators instead, which is totally fine, by the way. I'm not saying that's a bad choice for you. I'm just saying it means the LOV can go, whee, you can just get rid of him. You don't need him. So now this is only 370 or 390 points, whatever. It's a lot closer to this. So now this is pretty viable. And it's quite Terminator heavy as well. So it depends. Sort of pick your poison at this point. You can still have your Plague Bus as well here, which is quite nice. So, it gives you a sort of like a choice. This is obviously, it's... A lot of people have basically been making a choice, which is you either go Morty, and basically the brick choice is being a bit struggling because again there was units like Fire and stuff like that. But again, this right now, and also Blightlords are really good against Victrix Guard because again, if they shoot you, you can fire back with Mortarion, you can fight on death, you can reactive move. All of those are great things. But also, Morty can also is heroic as well. But you have access to -1 damage in this attachment, which Victrix Guard hate. Your T7, which is an annoying breakpoint, because Victrix Guard can get max T6, even with the Lance on there. They're still going to wound you on 4s at best. So it's going to be forced to wound into a 4-up invulnerable, 1 damage each because you're -1 damage in. That's really, really, really good. And your shooting is really good back. Again, these guys shooting with a Predator buff on them, really, really nasty. 4 rolls to hit and wound with this squad, beautiful, magnificent. Same with the Playcasters again. +1 AP from -1 save contagion, plus this, really, really good. Honestly, the little odd thing is the bloat drone one. I don't mind the bloat drone. Now, what I would say here potentially is you probably don't need the second unit of Spawn. Spawn are really, really good. I'm not against them there. But if you were a bit, and again, you need some sort of trading units to be honest. Probably keep the spawning. But if you really wanted to, because again, this is quite expensive just from the nature of it being like Morty. So like again, these 3 units alone are like nearly like a K of your entire, like over a K your entire list. But in all honesty, like this will still pack a punch, but it's also a bit more durable. It's also a bit more forgiving as well because you're not going to like, again, these don't die anywhere near as quick as the Plague Marine Brick. The damage can be a little less because you don't have the crazy sustained 5s and 5s, but it's still more than enough to deal like a lot of damage to most things in the game. And again, you've got your hard hitters with Morty here. You've still got Plague Boys, which is quite cool to be able to play around that. Like again, there could be arguments to be made to like you could drop this Fetid Blowdrome to pick up 5 Bare Bones Plague Marines who can then just go sit inside the Rhino, so the Plague Plus has that extra bit of layer of utility in it. Because again, bear in mind they can still get 1 command point reroll all hits and wounds in shooting, so you can just go in and just gun someone down. Again, they'll trade really well against stuff like scouts, JPIs, things like that. But honestly, like this is sort of like a build I would genuinely consider looking at. Now, there is an argument to be made, do you need Dual Predator? Dual Predator is good. I think it's fine. But Predator can also be taken as a solo just to apply the buff, sort of. So you could make an argument again to sort of like drop a Predator there, then use the 140 points to pick up like again, if you kept this in, for example, you could swap that out, get 2 with Blight Horse. Now you've got a nice bit of anti-tank. Honestly, it's a really good shell to sort of build around because again, you're just swapping out these units here every so often. You can sort of mix it up. So now you've got 2 of Blight Haulers in here. You're also floating 45 points, which could then, get you something else. You can even go double Tallyman to sort of just screen out home, which means that all these Poxwalkers are free to play upwards. And you're always pretty much guaranteed to going to get your CP at that point. A lot of cool things you can sort of do with this build here to sort of make it a bit more interesting and sort of go in different ways. But the actual core of what you've made here is pretty good. But what I would argue is right now, potentially, and again, it depends if you like the Plague Marine Brick, you like 10 Plague Marine Brick, but you can substitute that for the Blightlord Terminator Brick. Like that is also completely fine. But honestly, yeah, I'd give it a go, see how it plays, because you might end up you might not end up not liking like the Plague Bus, for example. Like that could be dropped. That's going to give you that's going to give you 200 points back right there. That again could go and then pick up again. You've already got your Bloat Drone here, so then you could go and pick up 2 haulers. Like you just wanted to go heavier on the vehicles and have a bit more MSU vehicle play. You could do something like that. It's just a good sort of like staple list for you to build around, mate, and just sort of start playing and getting more in the field and learning how to use him. So yeah, honestly, man, it's a pretty good. I would stick with it. It's a great call, but yeah, maybe just for the sake of testing out, try the Blight Horse instead of the Plague Marines, see how you feel about it, because you don't need the LOV in your list because you just don't have the HBL drones that normally is there to support. But yeah, that's going to bring us sort of to the end of tonight. Thank you. Thanks. I'm glad I managed to get you listed there just at the end of you. Hopefully it's some good, a little bit of chat for you there. We've got 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tonight. Hell yeah. But thank you for everyone that's been here tonight and sort of like been chatting away and sort of involved in the chat. It's always good to see everyone. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow with me, Will, and Dave. We're either going to build myself an RTT list or we're going to do an Ask Me Anything. So let us know on Discord what you would like us to do. Because again, if you want to build me a list for a tournament, we can do it this week, we can do it next week, but it's going to happen anyway. So you can decide what hell I'm taking. But yeah, part of that, please do remember, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. It really helps more than you think. YouTube is a nasty thing sometimes, and algorithm is a bit of a monster. But it really does help me. So, but for now, I'm going to go take my leave. I've been dying for the toilet for about 10 minutes. I'm not going to lie to you all. Proper nerdly, that, isn't it? But yeah, thank you so much for everyone for being here tonight. I will love you and leave you off for now. I'm not going to tatty by you. But thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you all on the next episode of the Disgusting Resilient Podcast. Take care, stay rotten, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye, everyone.
In the void, where the warp winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Grave wardens stir, betrayal takes shape, Typhon's whispers, sealing their fate. Navigators lost to the shadowed lie, a fleet adrift beneath a darkened sky. The warp's cruel grasp, unyielding and tight, Chaos awaits in the endless night. Whispers of power, a pestilent tide. Mortarion's pride, with nowhere to hide. The destroyer plague, a grim reward. Nurgle's laughter echoes aboard. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Mortarion stands, his sons by his side. Through agony storm, their oaths collide. Grandfather's hand, the pact is sealed. The legion reborn, their fate revealed. Rise in the armor, rot in the soul. A Primarch remade, his heart grown cold. In terror shadow, their war drums beat. Pestilent warriors, no chance of retreat. Through breach and ruin, their banners fly. With death's embrace, they'll never die. The Lion's Gate, where hope was torn. Jagged ties, blade meets the Plague-born. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Typhus herald, chaos born. Mortarion's wrath, the plague sworn. In the warp, their legacy thrives. Eternal servants where corruption lies. Mortarion's fall, Typhus ascends. The death god song, it never ends.